Getting very close to the start of this next race, the grand final, women's Varsity 4. And we have a start. 6 boats in this race. No incidents that I can see in terms of throwing water or catching crabs. As they approach us, it appears in lane 1, the Cardinal from Stanford is your race leader. Second position being held down by California, then Washington. Then Texas, then outside to Oklahoma. The final spot is UCLA. From that controlled abandon at the start now, they're starting to get serious, starting to develop the rhythm, getting the max boat speed they can. Big push by the Husky crew now, just past the 250 meter mark. You can see that extra effort with that outside hand finishing, which really sends the boat forward, and in fact, the Huskies now are your race leader. Come to 500 meters. Stanford counter punches over in lane 1 to push back out in the lead as we cross the 500 meter mark. So, Stanford is the leader, then Washington, California, Texas, Oklahoma, and UCLA. Very powerful strokes here. 4 width, a little heavier than an 8, so it really takes some power to make these boats go fast. And these women are doing just that. Washington now with, maybe a 2-seat advantage over that Stanford crew in lane 1. Texas making a big push to get that 3rd position, as is Oklahoma. Crews coming up to the 700 meter mark. Still, the Huskies from the University of Washington on the lead. Rowing at 35.5 strokes per minute. Tightly packed for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are Stanford in lane 1. And then quite a battle here with Oklahoma and Texas for that 3rd, 4th position. And California holding down that 5th spot in UCLA trails. Nobody's out of it. Overlap, bow to sterns, pretty much across the board, with maybe the exception of UCLA, as the crew approached the 1,000 meter mark. Boy, Oklahoma sure putting a big push right now, ratcheting this rate up, realizing that they've got to put some pressure on that heavy lead. As you can see, Oklahoma now is in that 2nd spot. Stanford, California, UCLA is your crew. So, far from over. We're going to back over to you at the finish line.
Thank you, Jim. Watching this race unfold coming across the 1,000 meters. Weather still holding here, still the wind coming from starboard side, but barely enough to make a difference. As we watch this race unfold, we have all the way out in lane 6, Oklahoma, making the push. They look like they're pushing, lane 3, Washington. Washington with their bow ball out in front, crossing the 750 to go. We're gonna see these girls wind it up for the last 750 here. Again, it looks like a pretty tight placing here for 2nd place. Looks like Washington is sticking their bow in front, being closely pushed about half a boat length behind from lane 1, Stanford women, and lane 6, Oklahoma. Right in the mix there also is Texas Austin, They're off the starboard side of Washington. They're bow to stern on the leader, so you'll see a push from them here, hopefully, in the last 500 meters. Again, tight racing for that second place. Right behind the pack, we have California in lane 2. Again, these are 4, so we can see a little bit of shifting of placement here in the last 500 meters. Just because the boat is out doesn't mean that they had the lead the whole way in. 500 meters, anything can change. It is still anyone's game. Again, crossing the 500 to go, we have lane 3, Washington. They have about bow to stern on lane 1, Stanford. Stanford now fighting off Oklahoma. Nipping at their heels, though, is Texas Austin in lane 4. Right behind them, we can see California in lane 2. All crews making that push here as we're about to enter the red buoys, last 250 meters. We can start hearing the crowds on the shore. Let's start getting loud, folks. Let's help these crews get across the line. All right. Officially coming into the last 250 meters, we still have Washington out in lane 3. Washington looks like they have a length. They're trying to maintain their lead on at least 2 crews, 2 or 3 crews here, making their push. We have Oklahoma out in lane 6. We have Texas Austin in lane 4. And we have Stanford women in lane 1. Looks like second place is still up in the air. No one has it yet. Still making that push from lane 2, California. Behind them, UCLA out in lane 5. Out in front here, though, we have the Washington women pushing it out, trying to finish this race, piecing it together. We're seeing a little bit of an exchange here between Texas Austin and Oklahoma, but in lane 1, we have Stanford women sneaking around, looking for that second place finish. Might come down to the wire here. Right now, it looks like Washington women in lane 3. Stanford women lane 1 able to hold it out here. Tight finishing here for Texas Austin and Oklahoma. Who's going to get it? Maybe a photo finish between Texas Austin and Oklahoma. Lane 2, Cal women. Lane 5, UCLA. All right, moving on with our scheduling here. Go to event 3, Women's Collegiate Varsity D1, D3, and Club Final 1. Lane 1, we have UC Santa Barbara. Lane 2, Purdue.